Okay guys, here's my water collection for rainwater. It's all contained. Tote. I've been keeping it for at least a year and a half so far, and it's not open or anything like that. It's all sealed up. As you can see, how it pushes out the top. It stays like that. Doesn't break the seams or anything like that. Still holds water. And set up the hose on the side here to hang on the rack. I have the motor right here, along with the motor on and off switch, which is this right here, which is easy to get. Your little remote control comes with it, and you can remotely control it while you walk around the yard, so you won't lose any water. This right here is a rain reserve, and it fills up our containment, our tote, and then whatever the tote can't take, it goes back through the spout and out. So that's my rainwater collection. And going on to my yard, my wife and I have planted some trees now. We set it up to where each fruit tree, I should say. We set it up to where we have this pipe right here, which is called deep root irrigation. We fill that up and it gets down to the roots instead of at the top and evaporates. That way we can save more water out here in Texas. As droughts happen, you gotta prepare. This is our about our second year using this grow bed here, and tell you the truth, I've been neglecting it, but as you can see, with the neglect, I still get my plants still growing, peppers and stuff like that. This one's kind of blackening, which gives an indication that it's going to start to turn red. That's what usually happens on your peppers. They'll get black and then they'll turn red, like these ones over here. So those will start green, black, and then red. My onions. The onions, I've never really tended to them either, just neglected them. They kept growing, along with the cilantro. Here's my moringa tree. It's been in the dirt for about, gave its new hole here for about 2 days. I already have new growth going on and everything else, so it seems to like its new environment. Some more cilantro. This one I didn't put anything in it, as you could tell. Here's here's another one of my trees here. This is a fig tree. Another tree that I planted it and forget it and neglected it, and look at it, it's growing now. Here's my newest one. I don't know if you can see it, but it's been here about 4 days so far, and it came to me like a twig with bare roots. Ordered from a tree company, and now it's starting to get its little buds going on. You can see right there above my thumb. So all these new buds are starting to grow, and it's only been here about 3 days. Again, still did the deep root collection there. Going on here, got a mango. This mango tree it's almost a year old. We've been having it in the pot, and now here this spring we decided to go ahead and put it in the ground. And while I was in the pot, these leaves, they weren't standing up like they are now. So little by little, this guy's gonna start to take root down here in its hole and like its place. These are my orange trees. One for regular oranges, and the other's for mekons, which is like a tangerine. We call them mekon because they taste just as good. Another version of those mekons is the cuties. People call them cuties as well. This one's my Meyer lemon tree. And you can see it's got a lot of little lemons already starting to grow everywhere. Right here, all around. So this guy's taking root to the ground too as well. These are all freshly been put into the ground. They've been in pots. So you can see everything taking off pretty nicely now. You can see all the little dark fruits starting to grow. So this is known as a Meyer lemon miniature tree or dwarf tree. And it's got the pipe as well. This guy's doing the same thing. They're growing their oranges, but they're down here at the lower areas. You can see them growing right there. More of them starting to come here and there. This is known as a tangerine, mekon tree right there. This one's a kumquat tree. It don't come till later in the season. Then we'll start seeing some growth going on. Got a Fuji apple. Got at Costco. We're seeing it takes root. The apple trees, this is the first of we planting these ones, so I don't know, I might be finding new growth, old growth. I don't know what's going on with some of these leaves. They look like they're kind of getting abused. This one right here got the death going on, or they're starting to wilt. So we had to give that Fuji some time, maybe do some more research. Here's my chug, which is called a designer dog, a Chihuahua and a pug. Hey, that's what this one looks like. Yep, Chihuahua and a pug. Chug. Trying to grow some pineapples. I don't know why the leaves are turning yellow. We just transplanted it. I don't know, maybe it's going through shock, maybe it's going through a new growth because it's got this new growth going in between here. That's new to us too. That's the other one. There's our other apple tree. This guy looked like a twig too, but now all the new growth is starting to come in. You can see them coming at the tips everywhere. So this guy's taking root down inside here, and it looks like he's starting to like it in here. This one's a golden delicious apple tree. And then comes the Wicking gardens. This is my wife's setup, and this one's my setup. And the difference between the two is my wife decided to use those clay balls. It's instead of rocks. Now how it's usually set up is you will set up your boxes always, and then you put in a liner, which is a pond liner. Same kind, you make the little ponds and you lay it on top, and then after that you put inside there a layer of pond pebbles or pond rocks, and then on top of that you put a layer of this right here, which is called a shade cloth, and then you put the dirt on top, which is does not exceed 12 inches. It's supposed to be like 11 to 12 inches deep. That way the wicking effect will happen. Well, we neglected this during the winter, and really I didn't dig anything out. I just left it alone just to see what it would do, and sure enough, plants took root. You know, all these plants took root. So here we got tomatoes already growing. Got a bunch of them right here. Tomatoes growing. We got the tomato thing holding it up. And I got tomatoes in the back there. They've all been growing. This is just starting. It's end of Okay, so also in each one of the grow beds, I've also put in what they call worm composting. Put a bunch of worms in here, and then I feed the guys in here. And I got a bunch of holes at the bottom. As you can see here, there's what they eating and stuff like that. The worms come and go from this spot, and then go throughout the grow beds, and then they come back and eat over here. So I come back and I feed them my table scraps so they can eat. But that is the whole setup. Now the difference with my grow bed, what I've done is did something different. I added in the pond pebbles as always, and then I put a layer of sand above the pond pebbles, and then I put the layer of dirt that you see on top. That's how I made this one. Plants are still growing, so you know, it's a matter of what you choose to do. So either way seems to work. With sand or without sand, it works. Because I still have peppers in here growing like crazy. You can see all the flowers in here. And all those peppers down in there are starting to grow. So seems like either way can work. You just have to make sure you put the right plants in there. You know, mostly peppers and cucumbers, plants that, you know, doesn't need a lot of tending to. It's probably the best that I noticed. And here is where I fill it up. This is where the wicking process starts. So this pipe right here, I fill it up with water. After that, I'll know the level of water I have, which tells me at this pipe. You'll see it, the water dripping out of there, and it says you met your max capacity of water for the wicking process. And I haven't had to water it that much, just enough to, you know, because mostly it's been raining a lot. But from what I've been told, that during, you know, heavy drought, you might have to water it once a week with this kind of process. We're going to see how that works along with these trees here, which is these pipes right here. So we'll see what happens on that kind of effect. And this tree right here is actually a peach tree. And it's already got a peach growing. So, you know, a lot of things are looking good. Now the winter is when I question things. Here we go. Here's another pepper right here. Big old thing, isn't it? That's the kind you get at the store. These are habanero, not a habanero, these are jalapeno peppers. And again, the same thing would happen. They would turn black, then they would turn red. And here's another worm composting. And put the worm compost in there. And see, you can see some worms squiggling up inside there. Okay, these guys eat this up when it rots out. And they'll go back in the ground over here on the outside of the bucket and do worm castings. And put the worm castings throughout here and give nutrients to the plants. That's it right there. That's my yard. Wife and I built this together. We dug the trees up, dug some holes for the trees and put the trees in. And we worked on these grow beds. It shows everything here. And here's a better view of the pond liner. See the pond liner? It's all black. I used a medium-sized pond liner for this grow bed. This grow bed's a 4x8 grow bed, just like those. And we combined the corrugated setup, and we use pocket technique for the screws. There's pocket holes up in here, they call them pocket holes. And we just drilled them in, made the framing together, and I built it up. And later on, as the sun gets really strong, we have covers that go on top of these little racks. I just slide right over, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.